Why are we considering moving to Mars instead of another planet? What are the scientific, economic, and existential reasons for doing so? What are the challenges and risks that we would face in this endeavor? Hello and welcome to Curiosity, where we explore fascinating and interesting topics about everything. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most ambitious and controversial ideas in the history of humanity: colonizing Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and the second smallest planet in our solar system. It is often called the red planet because of its reddish appearance due to iron oxide on its surface. Mars has two small, irregular moons named Phobos and Deimos, which are thought to be captured asteroids. Mars has a thin atmosphere composed mainly of carbon dioxide, which creates a greenhouse effect that keeps the planet warmer than it would be otherwise. However, Mars is still much colder than Earth, with an average temperature of about 63 degrees Celsius. The atmospheric pressure on Mars is also very low, about 0.6% of Earth's sea level pressure. This means that liquid water cannot exist on the surface of Mars, except in some rare locations where it may be temporarily stable. Water ice is abundant on Mars, especially at the polar caps and in the subsurface. Mars is an obvious target for exploration because it is close by in our solar system, but there are many more reasons to explore the red planet. According to the European Space Agency, the scientific reasons for going to Mars can be summarized by the search for life, understanding the surface and the planet's evolution, and preparing for future human exploration. Searching for life on Mars is one of the most fundamental questions of humankind. Did life ever arise elsewhere in the universe beyond Earth? And if so, does it still exist today? Mars is an excellent place to investigate this question because it is the most similar planet to Earth in our solar system. Evidence suggests that Mars was once full of water, warmer, and had a thicker atmosphere, offering a potentially habitable environment. Understanding the surface of Mars and its evolution is also important for planetary geologists who can study rocks, sediments, and soils for clues to uncover the history of the planet. Mars experienced serious climate change that made it lose most of its water and atmosphere over time. Scientists are interested in how this happened and what it means for the possibility of life on Mars. Finally, preparing for human exploration is another reason to go to Mars. Robotic missions can scout ahead and help us find potential resources and risks for future astronauts. Humans can also provide more in-depth observational research than uncrewed rovers, and conduct experiments that are not possible with robots. But exploring Mars is not enough for some people who dream of colonizing it. Colonization or settlement of Mars is the theoretical human migration and long-term human establishment of Mars. The prospect has garnered interest from public space agencies and private corporations, and has been extensively explored in science fiction writing, film, and art. Some of the motivations for colonizing Mars include curiosity, adventure, prestige, profit, survival, and expansion. Curiosity is a natural human trait that drives us to seek new knowledge and experiences. Adventure is another aspect of human nature that makes us crave challenges and risks. Prestige is a social factor that motivates us to achieve recognition and status among our peers and competitors. Profit is an economic incentive that drives us to exploit new resources and markets. Survival is an existential reason that compels us to ensure our continuity as a species in case of a global catastrophe or self-destruction on Earth. Expansion is a philosophical rationale that argues that humans have a duty or destiny to spread life throughout the universe. However, colonizing Mars is not an easy task. It requires overcoming many difficulties and hazards that pose serious threats to human health and well-being. Some of these challenges include radiation exposure during a trip to Mars and on its surface. They also include as follows: toxic soil that contains perchlorates and other harmful chemicals, low gravity that can cause muscle atrophy and bone loss, Isolation that accompanies Mars' distance from Earth and limits communication and support. Lack of water that requires recycling or extraction from ice or soil. Cold temperatures that require heating and insulation. Dust storms that can reduce visibility and damage equipment. Psychological stress that can affect mood and performance. Social conflict that can arise from living in close quarters with limited privacy and diversity. Ethical issues that can arise from altering the natural environment or encountering potential life forms on Mars. Given these challenges, why are we considering moving to Mars instead of another planet? Well, there are not many other options in our solar system that are more suitable for human colonization. The Moon is the closest and easiest to reach, but it has even less atmosphere and water than Mars, and a longer day-night cycle that makes temperature extremes more severe. Venus is the most Earth-like in size and mass, but it has a runaway greenhouse effect that makes its surface temperature hot enough to melt lead, and a crushing atmospheric pressure that is 92 times that of Earth. Mercury is too close to the Sun and has no atmosphere or water at all. The outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune, are gas giants that have no solid surface to land on, and are surrounded by intense radiation belts and storms. Their moons, however, offer some interesting possibilities for colonization. For example, Europa, a moon of Jupiter, is thought to have a global ocean of liquid water under its icy crust, which could harbor life. Titan, a moon of Saturn, has a thick nitrogen-rich atmosphere and lakes of liquid methane and ethane on its surface, which could provide resources for energy and materials. However, these moons are much farther away from Earth than Mars, and have their own challenges such as extreme cold, high radiation, and complex orbital dynamics. So, Mars seems to be the best candidate for human colonization in our solar system, at least for now. But how realistic is this idea? How soon can we expect to see humans living on Mars? And what would it take to make it happen? To give you some idea of the current state and future plans of Mars colonization, let me share with you some examples of projects that are being pursued or envisioned by different organizations. Some of them are more realistic than others, but they all share a common goal: to make humans a multi-planetary species and expand our horizons beyond Earth. SpaceX's Mars Colony Plan. This is the vision of Elon Musk, the founder and CEO of SpaceX, a private company that aims to make humans a multi-planetary species. Musk published his plan in 2017, which he unveiled at a conference in Mexico in 2016. His plan involves building a fleet of reusable rockets called Starships, which can carry up to 100 people and 100 tons of cargo to Mars. He estimates that it would take about 1,000 Starships and 40 to 100 years to establish a self-sustaining city on Mars with a population of 1 million people. Musk's plan also includes terraforming Mars by using nuclear bombs or orbital mirrors to heat up the planet and release its frozen carbon dioxide. Mars One. This is a controversial project that aims to send a one-way mission of 4 people to Mars in 2031, followed by more crews every 2 years. The project is led by a Dutch entrepreneur named Ba Lansdorp, who claims to have secured funding from sponsors and media rights. The project has received over 200,000 applications from people who are willing to leave Earth forever and become the first Martians. However, many experts have criticized the project for being unrealistic, unethical, and unfeasible, citing technical, financial, medical, and psychological challenges. The Mars Society. This is a non-profit organization that advocates for the exploration and settlement of Mars. It was founded in 1998 by Robert Zubrin, an aerospace engineer and author of The Case for Mars. The organization conducts research and education programs, such as the Mars Desert Research Station in Utah and the Flashline Mars Arctic Research Station in Canada, where volunteers simulate living and working on Mars in isolated habitats. The organization also supports the development of new technologies and policies that can enable human missions to Mars. These are just some of the examples of Mars colonization projects that are currently being pursued or envisioned by various groups. There are many more ideas and proposals that have been suggested by scientists, engineers, writers, artists, and enthusiasts over the years. What do you think about these projects? Do you have any questions or opinions about them? I would love to hear from you. That's all for today's episode. Thank you for watching Curiosity. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content like this. And don't forget to share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.